The Chicago Bears had a rough 2024 season, finishing with a disappointing 5-12 record. But the biggest change this offseason isn't about their losses, it's about their future. The Bears just made one of the biggest coaching hires in the NFL, bringing in Ben Johnson as their new head coach. Johnson was the most sought-after coach on the market, and now he's in Chicago, ready to fix a team that has struggled with poor coaching decisions for years. Fans are hoping that his offensive mind will bring the kind of real change this team has been missing. One of the biggest problems last season was inconsistency in leadership. The Bears' offense never found its rhythm under Matt Eberflus and offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. The team struggled to move the ball, and despite having Caleb Williams, the former #1 pick, at quarterback, the offense failed to put up big numbers. The entire system felt broken, and the coaching staff couldn't figure out how to fix it. But with Johnson now in charge, there's finally a clear plan to rebuild the Bears into a competitive team. The biggest question now is how the Bears will use this fresh start to improve. Coaching was a huge issue, but the team's problems run deeper. The offensive line couldn't protect the quarterback, the running game was weak, and the defense wasn't consistent. With Ben Johnson calling the shots, the Bears have a chance to rebuild the roster the right way. And that all starts with fixing their biggest weakness, the offensive line. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more NFL content. Let's aim for 350 likes on this video. The Chicago Bears might have struggled last season, but not everything was bad. One of their biggest strengths was their offensive tackle duo, which quietly became one of the better pairs in the league. While the offensive line had issues, the tackles did their job well. The problem? The interior offensive line completely collapsed. Pressure came straight up the middle, making it impossible for the quarterback to get comfortable. The Bears' offense can't improve until they fix this. The struggles on the offensive line led to another major issue: a weak running game. The Bears ranked 25th in total rushing yards, averaging just 102 yards per game. No team can win consistently without a strong ground attack, and the Bears simply couldn't move the ball effectively. It wasn't just the running backs underperforming. The line wasn't opening lanes, making every rushing attempt a battle. A new coaching system under Ben Johnson might help, but unless they upgrade the interior line, the same problems will continue next season. Chicago's issues weren't limited to offense. On the defensive side, the team showed flashes of potential but lacked consistency. Some games, they looked like a solid unit. Other games, they couldn't get key stops when it mattered most. The coaching staff must address these weaknesses before the Bears can truly compete. But first, they need to take advantage of one of the biggest assets they have: their draft picks and salary cap space. The Chicago Bears have something every struggling team dreams of: money and draft picks. With $69.3 million in cap space, they have the flexibility to make big moves in free agency. That kind of spending power can completely change a roster if used wisely. But the real advantage? Their draft position. The Bears own the 10th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. And that's just the beginning. They also hold 3 picks in the top 45 and 4 in the top 72. These picks put them in a position to add multiple key starters right away. Having this many premium picks means Chicago doesn't have to gamble. They can strategically rebuild by focusing on the positions that need the most help. The expectation is that they will prioritize the offensive line, especially after giving up 68 sacks last season. But they also have the flexibility to target other weaknesses, such as adding playmakers on offense or strengthening the defense. If they use these picks wisely, the Bears could walk away from this draft with 4 new starters who can make an impact immediately. Fixing the offensive line isn't just a priority, it's a necessity. Last season, the Bears' offense was constantly under pressure, and no quarterback can succeed when they're running for their life every play. With $69.3 million in cap space, the Bears can go after some of the best offensive linemen available in free agency. NFL insider Jeremy Fowler has already predicted that Trey Smith will end up in Chicago, but nothing is guaranteed in free agency. The Bears will have to be aggressive and smart with their spending. Locking in a top-tier offensive lineman will be the first step in reshaping this offense. But the line isn't the only problem. Chicago also needs to figure out what they're doing at wide receiver and running back. The Bears' passing game is at a crossroads. Keenan Allen, their most experienced wide receiver, is turning 33 years old and set to become a free agent. Whether he stays or not, the team needs more depth at the position. A reliable receiving core is essential for Caleb Williams' development, and right now, the Bears lack a clear number 2 option. If Allen leaves, Chicago will have to look at free agency or the draft to add another weapon. Darius Slayton has been mentioned as a possible depth signing, but they may need a bigger move to truly improve this unit. The running back position is just as uncertain. DeAndre Swift was signed to a 3-year, $24 million deal, but his production wasn't great. He finished with 959 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns, but his 3.8 yards per carry wasn't ideal. The bigger issue? Ben Johnson traded Swift away when he was in Detroit. That raises a major question. Does Johnson see him as part of Chicago's future? If the Bears don't believe in Swift, they'll need to find another lead back, whether through free agency or the draft. The struggles don't stop there. Roshan Johnson, expected to be a solid backup, averaged just 2.73 yards per carry last season. That's simply not good enough. With multiple second-round picks, the Bears could easily select a young running back who fits Johnson's offensive system better. Whether they draft a playmaker or sign a veteran, this offense won't take the next step unless they find more reliable weapons. But no matter who they add, their success will still depend on one person: Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams was drafted to be the franchise quarterback, but his rookie season didn't go as planned. Despite showing flashes of brilliance, he was constantly under pressure, leading to inconsistent performances. He finished the season with 20 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, which isn't bad, but the offense never fully clicked. Part of the issue was the offensive line, but Williams also needs to adjust to the NFL level of competition. The Bears have invested heavily in him, and now they need to put him in a position to succeed. A surprising name being discussed alongside Williams is Bo Nix. Statistically, Nix had a better season: 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and fewer sacks taken. While no one is saying the Bears should replace Williams, these comparisons highlight the challenges he faced last year. Nix played in a more stable system with better protection, while Williams was constantly pressured. The key takeaway? Caleb Williams isn't the problem. The team around him needs to improve before he can truly showcase his talent. The Chicago Bears have been stuck in mediocrity for years, but this offseason feels different. With a new coaching staff, a solid draft position, and the cap space to make big moves, they finally have the tools to turn things around. The roster still has weaknesses, but the front office has a clear plan: protect Caleb Williams, strengthen the running game, and add playmakers. If they execute that plan correctly, the Bears could go from a struggling team to a legitimate playoff contender in just one season. So, what do you think? Will the Bears finally get it right this offseason? Should they focus on the offensive line with their first pick, or would you rather see them add another weapon for Caleb Williams? And do you believe Ben Johnson is the coach who can change the future of this franchise? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more NFL content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.